Hello there, beautiful humans, and welcome to Antie's Adventure Assortment. I'm going back to my friend's house. I hunted her backyard with the swimming pool a few weeks ago, and now that the heat has come off a little bit, I'm going to take a swing at her front yard. The backyard was extensively manipulated when the pool was put in, and I found only some modern-ish copper pennies, a zinc penny, and a very much broken up zinc ring for an old mason jar. So I'm hoping that in the front yard it hasn't been as interfered with. The ground is maybe more original, and I'm still searching for that elusive first silver. Come along with me and we'll see what I find. Check with you at the first plug. So here I am again at my friend's house. The yard is really pretty small. Maybe, I don't know, like 50 feet by 20. Anyway, it looks as though it might be somewhat original, so I'm hoping I can find some goodies in here. Check back with you. And of course, my first plug is a rusty nail. There is a ton of interference in this yard. My machine is going crazy with chatter, but look, I found my friend's water main. I can't dig that up. It's really hard to hear through the electromagnetic interference chatter, but I did find the end of a light bulb. It was down under the roots of this tree here. I'm at the base of this tree, which is probably a 40-year-old maple. So I don't know how old that is, but so far I've found rusty nails, a pull tab on the surface, and this. This sounded like it might be a penny, but it's just a nut. I'm not having a lot of luck here, and the interference is just about blowing my ears off. Fortunately, it's a very small yard. I've got a couple more sweeps to go, and then I'll try somewhere else. This sure sounded good. It looks like the brass fitting off a hose. This is a holdout from the original entryway, I'm sure, this concrete curb. It just looks like the sort of thing that would have a nice silver George VI dime next to it, but no luck. I can't get past the EMI chatter. It's really, really noisy, so I think I'm pretty much done. Well, I've decided that I'm going to take a look at this park that I was dreaming about back when there was snow in the ground. It's a large park, so I'm only going to tackle part of it. And I think what I'll do is I'll head over under these big shady trees. Oops. I don't want to give anybody free advertising. And see what's there. I found a neat thing when I opened the car door. I'm going to turn the camera around and show you. This was on the parking lot, just outside my car door, so I don't know what it is. It's a key ring of some kind. Cool. I'm hunting without headphones on this one, because in the 8 blocks between my friend's house and this park, I seem to have misplaced the adapter that connects the earphones to the machine. It's in the trunk somewhere, but I don't want to waste good digging time looking for it. People will just have to deal with my beeps. There's no one around anyway. I couldn't find this at first. It was screeching on my pinpointer, but I could not locate it. That's a little, I don't know, rivet or pin or something. I like that. This rang up a lot higher than anticipated. It's a piece of a square nail at the base of this old tree. I'd like to find one coin today. I had an interesting time digging down under this root. It was a strange signal, kind of jumpy, and rightly so. It's the beaver tail from an old school pull tab. It doesn't even have the ring, it's just the tail. Okay, now I can leave this park. I have a coin. It's a 1980s model dime. I'm just not feeling it here, but I'm glad to have this coin. It's my first coin of the day. 1980. I think it might be 4, but I'm not certain. $19.80 something. I'll check it when I get home. I was just on my way back to the car and I got what sounded like a zinc penny signal. Copper penny one way and 40s and 50s the other way, but I found myself a key. It's somebody's house key. It's kind of shiny, but the ring is really rusted, so I guess it's been down there for a little while. Well, that'll join the other keys in my collection. This rang up like lead, mid-50s numbers on my Fisher F44. It's a bottle cap, but not only that, it is a Javex bottle cap. My American friends know this product as Clorox. And up here in Canada now they call it Clorox as well. I don't know that you can even buy Javex anymore. Chlorine bleach. This cap probably from the 60s or 70s. So why is it in the first inch of soil right at the edge of the driveway of this park? Coming in the fill, maybe? Or was it hauled up when they installed this sign? And why would somebody have a bottle of Javex at the park? These are the questions that metal detecting raises. We could write a whole philosophy about it. The detector gods are smiling a little bit more now. Here's a Canadian copper penny, 1993, with the third portrait of the Queen. Welcome back, beautiful humans, to the roundup of my hunt at my friend's front yard and the park. They were both a little bit disappointing. My friend's yard didn't seem to have very much in it, so I think the ground had been extensively moved at some point in the past. As for the park, I really didn't have all that much time, so I just did a very quick sweep around the margins of one parking area. Anyway, here's what I found. At my friend's house, I found a crushed water bottle on the surface, a bottle cap that's been cut in two by the lawnmower, a twist tie, nothing too exciting there. Iron, there's a strange little covered nut, sort of like an acorn nut, but I've never seen one with the flattened out top like that. So, big deal. A couple of rusty nails, and this looks to me like part of a car door hinge, maybe? You can tell me, probably. Frankly, I think it looks like a frog peeking over a wall. See, there's one eye. There's the other. I could, here's the froggy's eyeball. There you go. I also found a little aluminum strap, a surface pull tab, the end of a light bulb, which is not brass like the one I found one time before. This one's aluminum, so not that old. And a brass fitting. It looks as though it was painted or lacquered at some time, black. Anyway, that rang up beautifully. So I'm going to make this into the frog's monocle. And there we have Mr. Froggy peeking over the wall. All right, at the park I found some glass. I found the end of a vape. Which says Rocky Mountain. Yeah, don't want it. This rather gruesome cigarette pack with the staring eye. A lump of a square nail. I seem to find square nails everywhere. even in places that aren't so old, or apparently not so old. I mean, everything's old. The ground is old. So who knows what was on a piece of property before something else was built. But and this I thought was another piece of nail, but it's actually, I think, copper wire, although it's very, very hard. It doesn't bend, so maybe it's bronze. And this super nifty little rivet. It's tiny, but look, it's sort of triangular. I have no idea what that is. If you can help me out, I think it's copper. Let me know. I'm fascinated by these things I'm pulling out of the ground. Pull tabs. There's the sealer part of a not so old pull tab. Here's a much older school pull tab from the 70s. And here's a complete ring pull. I would say about the same vintage as that one. But this one has pistils on the back. So if you know of a brand of beverage that has pistils on the inside of the beaver tail or the pull tab, please let me know. I'm going to do a little research on my own as well. I found this stepping out of the car. I thought it was a key ring based on the twist of wire. I have no idea what this might have been. It sticks to the magnet, which surprises me because it's not rusty. This is quite rusty, and this is not. So, yeah, I don't know. And if that's a key ring, here's the key. Made in China. Curtis WR5 with a rusty split ring on it. I presume this is a brass key. I don't know what they're made of now, but it doesn't stick to a magnet, so I'll say it's plated brass. I found my Javex bottle lid. Javex, there's a name I haven't seen for a while. They sure don't put metal lids on bleach bottles anymore, so I would dare say this is from the 60s or 70s. That's a blast from the past. And I found two coins. I found a 1993 penny, which is still copper, still in the copper era. Second portrait of the Queen. The coin looks good. If we still spent pennies, I could easily spend that one. And a 1986 dime with super funky toning on it. But still perfectly spendable. So yay, I'm 11 cents richer. And another key for my collection, and who knows what that is. I'm still going to call it a keychain. And Mr. Frog here. Mr. Frog with his monocle, and now he has a cigarette holder. Yep, artists are weird. So thanks for dropping by, and I'll see you again very soon. Here's Auntie, waving goodbye. Toodaloo.